Namaskaram. Let us continue with Mahabharatam, the Virata Parvam. The other day we had started, but there was interruption in the middle. We couldn't complete the story of Pandava's arrival to the court of King Virata. We mentioned Yudhishthira coming as Kanka, then Bhimasena coming as Valala, third I think it was Draupadi as Malini, the Siren 3, and then came Sahadeva, one who looks after the cattle, and I think Arjuna came Arjuna came as Brihannala. That is where there was interruption. Brihannala, a eunuch. Arjuna had a curse from Urvashi when Urvashi approached Arjuna for romance, but Arjuna refused, saying that she was like a mother to him. She was Indra's keep. So Arjuna considered her equal to his mother. So Arjuna refused to have an affair with Urvashi. So Urvashi got very wild. She cursed Arjuna that he would become a female. And Indra, when he came to know of that, he changed that to the curse to that Arjuna would become a eunuch, and that too for 1 year, and then he will be relieved from the curse. And Indra said, consoled, that that would become a blessing to him during the forthcoming Ajnatavasam. And hence there is a saying in Malayalam, Urvashi Shapam Upakaram. Urvashi's curse became a blessing for Arjuna. So in any situation, if an adverse circumstance turns to be favorable, then Urvashi Shapam Upakaram is quoted. So Arjuna came as Brihannala, and Arjuna was employed to teach singing and dancing to their daughter Uttara. And finally came Nakula as what is it called? An expert on horses. Nakula, when he was coming, the king spotted him, and he was highly impressed by the look of Sahadeva. He looked like the shining sun approaching. That is what Virata said aloud. Nakula was famed for his beauty. And anyway, all the Pandavas, they all had that princely grace. In the case of Yudhishthira, Virata took him to be a Brahmin, because Yudhishthira had the Sattvika guna more in him. Others, all he took them to be princes. So Nakula, on top of that, he was very handsome. So Virata was highly impressed. And Virata saw him going to the stable and inspecting the horses. So Virata guessed that he is someone who knows about horses and interested in them. So Virata called him near and asked about his background, and Nakula also said that he was the keeper of horses for Yudhishthira, and now he is unemployed because the Pandavas are in the forests where he didn't know. So they all started living in Virata's palace, and like that, days passed. All the five of them used to entertain Virata in their own way. Yudhishthira playing dice with him, telling him stories, and Valala cooking, what is it called, good, nice dishes, and also fighting with lions and elephants, since there were no wrestlers to fight against. And then on the fourth month, there was great festivities called Brahmolsava, Brahma Maholsava. I don't know what was special about it, but as used to be the custom, festivals, these people like wrestlers, magicians, people, and what is it called? People who play, show circus. All such people come. They go from one festival in a village to another, wherever it is next. Like that, they make a living. So many wrestlers came for that festival, and they all came to the palace, and they all wanted to show their skill. And one among them, by name Jimuta, he excelled. He was so strong, looked so fierce, and he was a threat to all other wrestlers. Nobody dared to challenge him because of his appearance and because of the way he was fighting. So he was challenging. Is there nobody in this kingdom to challenge me? I'm waiting for a worthy opponent. And Virata thought about Valala. So Bhimasena was called. Bhima looked at this guy and showed reluctance. What was his name? Jimuta. So Jimuta and Bhima was not worried, but showed reluctance. But he was persuaded. And the two fought fiercely. And after a fierce battle, Bhima defeated him and killed him. That was something which intrigued me. It looks that that was the custom those days. Wrestlers, if they defeat an opponent, unless he is killed, he is not considered good enough. So when Bhima killed Jimuta, everybody applauded, including Virata. And with that, 4 months were over, and it was almost end of the year. And then, it was then that Kichaka, the brother of Sudeshna, happened to see Draupadi as Sairendri, and Kichaka was smitten by her beauty. Immediately, he was so enamored that he wanted Draupadi for himself, and he went to Sudeshna and told her that he has become, what is it called? He was so attracted by this Sairendri that he couldn't live without her. So at any cost, Kichaka wanted to have Draupadi. Now, Kichaka was a very strong person, himself a very powerful wrestler. There was nobody in the kingdom who could meet him on the arena. And because of his strength, he virtually dominated the palace. The entire country was at his mercy, that he decided matters, nobody dared to oppose him. And plus he was the brother-in-law of Virata. So when Virata insisted, when Kichaka insisted that Draupadi must be sent to him, Sudeshna thought about a plan, and she said that let Kichaka make arrangements for a grand feast in his apartment, and great wine, precious wine also should be arranged. Then Sudeshna could send Sairendri to him to fetch some wine for herself. That was the arrangement. And it was arranged accordingly. And when Draupadi was asked later in the evening to fetch wine, Draupadi was very reluctant. She said, please send somebody else. It's not correct to send me to his private apartment. I am a married lady. So please send somebody else. She pleaded, but Sudeshna insisted, forced her. So with lot of hesitation, Draupadi as Malini went to Kichaka's apartment, and Kichaka was waiting, and initially he was trying to tempt Draupadi with precious gifts, even offered her that the entire kingdom would be at her disposal, because he was in charge of the entire kingdom, and the whole kingdom will go to her. And because he was so enamored by her beauty. But Draupadi said, look, I'm a married woman. I have 5 Gandharva husbands who constantly watch over me. So it is very dangerous for you to play this game. Please let me go. Give the wine, let me take it back. But Kichaka tried persuasion, threats, and finally caught hold of her. It was with a bit of luck that Draupadi could free herself. And when she was trying to escape, it is said that Kichaka even kicked her with his foot. And that was a great punishment for Draupadi, because she was a proud queen, princess, and this humiliation was too much for her. And she somehow waited for an opportunity and went to Bhima and told him about the whole thing. Draupadi said, you must make sure that I won't have to face this situation again. Do something, otherwise I will end my life. I shall commit suicide. And Bhima said, all right, then you ask Kichaka to come to the uh, dance hall, uh, the next day, hmm, at night, and I shall be there waiting for him. And accordingly, our time is up, and anyway, we won't finish the story today. So let me stop now. We should be able to complete this story next day. Namaskaram.